All right, so thanks for joining for class today. This is meant to be a restorative yoga class, and restorative is similar to yin in that it's long, slow holds of postures meant to work deep into connective tissue and myofascial release. We will start the class with some postures that go a little bit faster, and then we'll ease into postures that lengthen to like 2, 3, 4 minutes at a time. In general, especially with the postures that we're going to hold longer, go slow. So try to do like 70% of what you think you should do rather than 100%. And, it's called restorative yoga. So just take a moment and think about like what you would like to restore today. So just noting whatever you'd like to restore, holding that in your heart throughout class. We'll start with the breathing exercise. So find yourself in a comfortable seated position. And for this, you're welcome to close your eyes or have your eyes half open, gazing just beyond the tip of your nose. And sitting up tall. And this breathing exercise is pretty simple. I call it 1 through 10 breathing. The idea is you'll inhale for a count of 1 and exhale for a count of 1. Inhale for a count of 2, exhale for a count of 2. Inhale for 3, exhale for 3, going all the way up to 10, and then counting back down 9, 8, 7. If you lose your place, that's really normal. Just start wherever you think you should. And the idea is that by focusing on our breath, the other stuff in life kind of starts to dissipate. And by really focusing on our breath, by breathing through the nose, we start to slow down and calm the central nervous system. So again, just finding yourself in a comfortable position, sit upright. Exhale completely. I'll count you through the first few and then I'll let you go on your own. Exhale completely. And inhale through your nose for 1. Exhale through your nose for 1. Inhale through your nose for 1, 2. Exhale through your nose for 2, 1. Inhale through your nose for 1, 2, 3. Exhale through your nose for 3, 2, 1. Continue at your own pace, counting up to an inhale of 10, an exhale of 10, and then going back down. And again, if you lose your count, that's normal. Just hop back in. As you're ready, return your breath to normal, in and out through your nose. If you're still counting, take your time. Notice any tension in your jaw, your shoulders, your chest. Try to sit up tall, but keep the jaw, shoulders, and chest relaxed. If your eyes are closed, start to open your eyes. Take your time. We'll start just by rolling out our shoulders. So first, rolling your shoulders forward a few times. Now try rolling them backwards. Okay, and then finding the shoulders in a neutral position. As you inhale, stretch up. And as you exhale, start to tilt your right ear to right shoulder, stretching the left side neck. It's worth noting that I'm not mirroring you, so it might look like I'm moving my head to the left when I'm in fact moving my head to the right. You are welcome to listen to my words or to follow my body, either way. Starting out with a gentle stretch through the neck. Notice if your weight is shifting into one hip or one shoulder is tensing up. Try to keep the shoulders and hips even. Often when we have a tight body, like a tight part of our body, like our neck, another part of the body will try to overcompensate by shifting weight. We really want to feel this in the neck rather than like moving the hips one way. If you have a tight neck, I'm right there with you. As you're ready, start to roll your head down. So chin to chest, gentle compression to throat, and a stretch through the neck spine. Try to keep the shoulders back and down away from the ears, still sitting up tall. Evenly distributing your body weight on both hips. Notice if you're leaning way forward or way back. Try to keep it just the neck that's moving. Okay, and this time bringing left ear to left shoulder, stretching on the right side neck. And just take note if one side feels a little or a lot different than the other. That's normal. Wonderful. Roll your head back down and gently roll back up, stacking vertebrae on top of vertebrae. This time, interlock your fingers and flip your palms out for a wrist stretch. Good. And then bring your arms overhead. Stretch up out of your waist and bend to the right. Try to keep your left hip on the floor. It's a stretch to the left side body and a little bit of a compression to the right side body. Press your palms up to the ceiling. Nice stretch through the wrists and shoulders. Take one more breath. And come back through center. Drop your shoulders. Lift your chest and chin. Inhale, stretch up. And exhale, other side, upper body to the left. Automatically notice if all the weight is tipping to the left. Try to root down through your right hip. Press the palms up. Take one more breath. Great. And come back through center. Lower your arms down. Wonderful. Next, we'll go on to cat and cow, a tried and true yoga favorite. So come to a tabletop position. I'll show you from the side. And if you have tight knees, this is a really great time. You can roll up your mat or even place a blanket or towel under your knees. Okay, so flat back, making a tabletop with your spine. So cat and cow. We're going to start with cat. So as you exhale, pull your belly in and round your spine up to the ceiling like an angry cat on a pumpkin carving. So chin to chest, spread your shoulders apart, press down through your knuckles, pull your belly in. And as you inhale, cow, drop your stomach down, lift your chest up, look up towards the ceiling. Roll the shoulders back and down, try to squeeze shoulder blades, scapula together, stick your butt up, nice back bend. Inhale, exhale, pull your belly in, round your spine. So thinking about a cat shape, meow, or maybe hiss. As you inhale, cow pose, think like udders on a cow, stomach coming down, chest lifting up, move. One more time, exhale, pull your belly in, try to bring your hips closer to your ribs, bring your spine closer to the ceiling, root down through your knuckles. And inhale, drop your stomach down, look up. Great. Coming back to a neutral position. This time we're going to have our palms out to the side. So wrists in and fingers out. And same thing, cat-cow. So as you exhale, pull your belly in, round your spine up. As you inhale, drop your belly down. Look up towards the ceiling. Try to squeeze shoulder blades together, opening the chest. Exhale, pull your belly in, spread the shoulders apart. Inhale, drop your belly down, look up. One more time. Exhale, press the hips forward, pull the belly in, push the palms down. Inhale, drop your stomach, look up, back bend. And coming back to a neutral position, this is where it starts to get fun. This time you're gonna point your fingers towards your knees and your wrists straight ahead. And to do this, you might have to bend your elbows in. That's really normal. Can also bring a little bit more weight back into your toes, eventually shoulders over wrists, and let's do it. As you exhale, pull your belly in, round your spine, tuck your chin to your chest, full spine moving. Inhale, drop your stomach in, back bend, bow, move. Exhale, pull your belly in, round your shoulders, chin to chest, look towards your belly button. Inhale, drop your stomach down, chest proud, stick your butt up. Exhale one more time, pull your belly in, round your spine. Inhale, drop your stomach down, back bend. Coming back to a neutral position, this is the fun part. This time, flip your palms down. So palms face the ceiling, knuckles touching the floor, okay? And you might have to bend your elbows out here, no problem. Eventually, arms straight. Let's do it. As you exhale, pull your belly in, round your spine. If you feel this in your wrists, you are supposed to. Inhale, drop your belly in, drop your belly down, look up, back bend. Exhale, pull your belly in, spread your shoulders apart. Inhale, drop your belly down, back bend, shoulders together, chest open. Coming back to neutral, last part, grand finale, you're gonna try and make fists with your hands. They won't go very far at first, but eventually you can make fists. I'm like halfway there. Okay, so exhale, pull your belly in, cat pose, meow. Inhale, drop your stomach down, back bend, cow pose, move. Inhale, pull your belly in, draw your belly button towards your spine, spine towards the ceiling, chin to chest. Inhale, drop your stomach, push your chest forward. Last time, exhale, pull your belly in, try to articulate your spine, moving the hips closer to the ribs. Inhale, drop your stomach down, back bend. Good, and as you're ready, come back to seated so you can sit down on your heels and then do some of this fun stuff. So that's the thing where at first our wrists are like super tender there, but if you do that, it takes like 5 minutes. If you do it every day, your wrists will start to open up. And then you can do one of these guys, woo! I don't know the technical term for this, but it should feel good. And then last but not least, some of this. Okay, good. So we've stretched the wrists and moved the spine. Now we're gonna stretch the toes and ankles with a toe stretch. So I'll show you from the side. You're gonna come forward and tuck your toes under. And this might be enough for today. As you're ready, try to bring your feet together. You can spread your knees wide and then start to sit back onto your heels. A trick here, flip your pinky toes out so that all of the toes are getting a stretch. And if this feels quite intense to you, it feels intense to me too. That's why we're doing it. So again, you can be forward as much as you need, eventually walking back, eventually hips to heels. For those of you where this is easy peasy, squeeze your heels together, maybe bring your knees closer or further apart, eventually knees lifting off the floor. If you have bad knees, please do not do that. Okay, stretching up, and we're gonna hold here and sit with our discomfort, or at least this is just comfortable for me, not uncomfortable, just comfortable, right? That's a little bit of why we're doing it. Sometimes I think when we think about yoga, we think about headstands or balancing on one leg or, you know, stuff like that. But it's really about moving and becoming aware of the whole body. So you might know that you have tight toes. You might have had no idea that you had tight toes until you sat here. And I'm right there with you. Relax your shoulders. Notice if other parts of your body are starting to tense up. Try to keep the shoulders relaxed, jaw relaxed. Let's do 3 more breaths here. Think about sending oxygen to the toes. Okay, and enough of that. Come forward into tabletop, and then you can tap out your toes, which I know your downstairs neighbors love. I'm sure mine do. And actually do it on a blanket so they don't hear me too much. Okay, wonderful. This time, coming down onto the stomach, we're gonna slowly go into slightly longer holds of postures. So come down onto your stomach, and we're gonna do a backward bend called Sphinx, which some of you may have heard of. I'll show you from the side. So the idea here is you eventually want your elbows under your shoulders, like a Sphinx, the arms straight. Please note that you are welcome to have your arms a little bit more forward. For those of you with like super flexy spines, you can deepen the back bend by placing a towel underneath your forearms. If you have any stomach injuries or if you are pregnant, so you don't want to be fully on your stomach, you can take, I don't have quite a big enough, what's the word, pillow here, but essentially you would put a bolster underneath your pelvis. Oh, actually this works, so that your stomach doesn't quite smush into the floor, right? So if you have any stomach issues, you want to put something under your thighs so that your stomach can hang down, otherwise stomach on the floor. Okay, so this should be a back bend compression to the spine. Notice if the shoulders are tensing up, relax the shoulders down, feel your chest opening. And again, too much is too much, too little is too little. We'll hold here for a little bit over a minute. And I'll tell you when we've got about 30 seconds left so that you know if you want to go a little bit deeper, or ease up a little bit, or just so that you know that, we're not holding it forever. You are welcome to stay here in Sphinx. If you would like a deeper backward bend for the last 30 seconds, you can also try Seal, in which you straighten your arms and come up. If you picture a seal with its arms, I think you can kind of understand why it's called seal pose. If you're alone and want to make yourself laugh, you can even make a like arf, arf, arf sound, but you don't have to. So hips down, shoulders back, chest proud, chin away from the chest. Take a slow inhale through your nose. Slow exhale through your nose. Good. And as you're ready, lower down into a belly savasana. So we're gonna lie here, adjust my camera just a little bit. We're gonna lie here on our stomach. Yeah, and you can have lots of options. You can have your elbows bent out with your head on the floor. You can look right, you can look left. You can also have your arms down by your sides. The world is your oyster. If you are looking in one direction, I will tell you when we're like halfway through so you can look in the other direction. Send deep belly breaths in and out through your nose to massage the front of your body. Breathe deep into any point of tension. Let the floor hold you up. If you're looking to one side, carefully, slowly rotate your head so that you're looking to the other side. As you inhale, feel your ribs expanding. As you exhale, try to relax your shoulders and hips a little deeper onto the floor. Okay. Place your hands on the floor. Push yourself up, and we're going to come into a wide-legged child's pose. So open your knees as wide as you want. Feet can be together, eventually sinking the hips down. Know that you can also have a towel or a pillow like under your feet, between your hips and your feet, under your butt, whatever feels good for you. You're going to start to fold forward. If having the arms forward is too much, you can also have your arms down by your side. And another trick is you can place the towel like under your chest and shoulders. That always feels good for me. There's a little extra padding. Hold here for a minute. Start to sink your hips down. Imagine space between each and every vertebrae. Let the floor hold you up. Next, we're gonna move the spine a bit. So you can stay here in child's pose, but start to walk your hands to the right side of your mat and push your hips a little bit to the left so it's a side stretch. And keep your head in between your arms. And place one hand on top of the other, have them side by side. To deepen the stretch, you'll bring your hands further to the right, maybe push your hips a little to the left. To ease up, you'll bring your hands closer back to center. We'll hold here for a minute. Take a slow inhale through your nose. Slow exhale through your nose. Walk your hands back to center. And if you need to stretch out or move your arms back for a second, do anything you need to. And then we'll do the other side. So walking your hands to the left. Try to press your right hip towards your right heel. Noting that this side might feel different or not symmetrical, that's okay. I'm holding here for 1 minute. Take a slow inhale through your nose. Slow exhale through your nose. Walk your hands back to center. Take a moment to push yourself back up. You're welcome to place your hands on your back and do a little back bend. Okay, and then last variation of this wide-legged child's pose is a bit like threading the needle. So you're gonna walk your hands back down. As you inhale, lift your right arm up. As you exhale, thread your right arm between left arm and floor. You can stay here with left arm forward and right arm to the left. You can also take your left hand overhead and drape it around for a half bind. And if this is too much for your shoulder, you can also be seated on your heels like I am and just use your arms so there's no pressure on the shoulder. So if being on the floor threading the needle does not feel right for you, you're welcome to watch me what I'm doing now. Otherwise, in your variation of threading the needle, try to sink your hips down. So we've been moving our spine in a couple different ways, but the general idea is we're really working into the connective tissue and the fascia in the hips, the glutes, the inner thighs by sinking the hips down in this wide-legged child's pose. We're gonna hold here for another minute. Take a slow inhale through your nose. Slow exhale through your nose. If you have your left arm in a half bind, place it back on the floor by your head. Start to unthread the needle. So as you inhale, lift your right arm up, looking up. As you exhale, right hand back down. And let's do the other side, walking your hands forward. Inhale, lift your left arm up, look up. Exhale, start to thread left arm through right arm and right thigh. So the left shoulder is on the floor. And have your arm forward or lift the right arm up to do a half bind. And again, if this is not working, you're welcome to watch me just doing a shoulder stretch like so. Give yourself permission to do what feels right in this moment. Yoga should never be performative. It's just a way to stretch and breathe into the body. We'll hold here for another minute. Try to sink your hips down a little lower. Notice any tension in the lower body, let it go. Take a slow inhale through your nose. Slow exhale through your nose. To reverse out, if you have your right hand in a bind, release the right arm, placing it on the floor by your head. As you inhale, unthread the needle, lift your left arm, look up. Exhale, left arm down. Can walk yourself out. Do any motions you need to do with the upper body. And then we're going to turn around for puddle pose, lying on our backs. Good. So puddle pose is similar to Savasana, but a little bit more freestyle. You can open your arms and legs as much as you'd like. If you want to take a second, you can like roll out your hips or your shoulder or your head. If lying on your back with your legs straight is a little intense, that's normal. You're welcome to have a rolled up towel or blanket under your lower back. And you can also bend your legs up. So feet are on the floor, knees bent up, and knees resting together if that feels good for your lower back. Otherwise, just let your arms and legs relax. Let your toes flop open. Sometimes this puddle pose, the Savasana style of yoga, can feel kind of like a space between the postures, but treat it as a posture in and of itself. Picture highly oxygenated blood flowing through the limbs, the spine. Feel your body getting a little deeper into the floor, relaxing any tense bits. Really let the floor hold you up. The floor is your friend. Next, we'll do a spine twist. So if your legs are straight, bend your legs up. So feet are on the floor. Take a moment, let your knees rest together, and windshield wiper your knees right and left if that feels good. Okay. Have your arms either out to the side or bent cactus like goalposts. Bring your knees, feet together. And as you're ready, start to bring your knees to the right side of your mat. So left knee would stack on top of right knee, left foot on top of right foot. Couple variations. You can have your head on the floor, or for a full spine twist, you can look to the left, so left ear towards the floor. And you're welcome to have a pillow or blanket underneath your knees, between your knees, under your ankles, under a shoulder. Try to keep 2 shoulders on the floor. You can keep both knees bent, or your right leg, the leg that's on bottom, you can straighten that right leg. So left knee stays bent, but right leg straight. And we'll hold here for 3 minutes. OMG. I'll tell you when we're halfway through. Again, just give yourself permission to make whatever shape feels right for you. Remember that you don't have to go very deep, especially in the longer holds of postures. A little bit goes a long way. The halfway point, if you don't feel anything, that's when you go deeper. But think about doing like 70% of what you think you should. About halfway through, if you need to wiggle at all or get a prop or go deeper or ease up, whatever feels good for you. Let your hands be heavy, trying to relax both shoulders onto the floor. Take a slow inhale through your nose. Slow exhale through your nose. And we're going to very slowly and carefully come out of the posture. So sometimes I actually like to place my hands on my knees and thighs to help myself roll out. Take your time, go slow, slowly rolling your left hip back down. Take a moment to roll out your head or move your hips, windshield wiper your knees, whatever feels good. And then carefully with control, lower your arms and legs back down into puddle pose. Rolling out anything you need to roll out, and then just hold here. As you inhale, maybe allow your rib cage to expand, lengthening the spine. As you exhale, let your chest soften. Allow your shoulders, hips, lower spine to get closer to the floor. Okay, let's do the other side. Bend your legs up, so feet on the floor, let your knees rest together. Do any movements that might feel good. Okay, you can have your arms out to the side or bent cactus like goalposts. Bring these feet together, and this time carefully roll your knees to the left side of your mat. Try to keep your right shoulder on the floor. And just remember that what worked on the other side might not work on this side. So again, you can have a prop, between your knees, under your knees, or under your ankles, maybe under a shoulder or a hip, under your neck maybe. You can straighten your bottom leg, so the left leg can straighten back and the right knee can stay bent. You can have your head on the floor or looking to the right side of the room for a full spine twist, whatever feels good for you. And we'll hold here for 3 minutes in stillness, breathing in and out through the nose. So on the one hand, I find yin or restorative or any sort of slow style of yoga accessible, right? Because we don't move very fast. There's no sun salutations, right? Most of it's on the floor. So in that way, it's accessible. But I would say mentally and emotionally, sometimes it can be a more advanced style of yoga because we are asked to sit still. And if sitting still is hard for you, it is also hard for me, especially recording all these videos and watching some playback. And it's oh my gosh, I fidget so much more than I realized. But just remember that yoga stillness, it's a practice, right? We don't come to it perfect and relaxed. We do it because it's hard to sit still because we're not relaxed. So I'll be quiet for the rest of this time. I'll tell you when we're halfway there. Otherwise, just enjoy. About halfway through, a minute and a half left. If you need to adjust it all, do so. Take a slow inhale through your nose. Slow exhale through your nose. We'll take our time transitioning out. So if you're looking to the right side of the room, roll your head back to center. Then place your hands on your knees or thighs if it helps. And carefully, slowly, without any rush, start to roll your right hip back down. Again, you can windshield wiper your knees, right, left. Moving the body any way that feels good for you. And then as you're ready, you return your arms and legs down for puddle pose. And again, if you need to kind of like move out your hips or shoulders or anything, do so. And then find a little bit of stillness. All right. Next, we're going to transition to a fan favorite called swan or pigeon. So start by bending your legs up. So feet on the floor, knees bent up. Roll off to one side. Take a moment lying in the fetal position. Then placing your hands on the floor, come push yourself up. Great. Okay, so I'll give a couple different options for this next pose. In a lot of styles of yoga, it's called pigeon, but in like yin, it's called swan, which I think is such a more lovely term, no offense to pigeons. So for this one, you're gonna come into tabletop, okay? And start by bringing your left knee towards your left wrist and start to bend the left foot towards the right side of the room. Start to straighten your right leg back. And as you're ready, sink your hips down. Some variations for this, okay? If you have tight hips, you can roll something up and place it under your hip so the hip is off the floor. Eventually, hip sinks down. Eventually, for those of you who are super flexible, you would have your shin parallel, so knee and ankle in line, but at first, heel is close to hip. Look back and notice if your back leg is way to the right or the left. Try to get your heel, knee, and hip in line so the sole of your foot is flat to the ceiling. You're welcome to fold forward or to push up into a back bend. And if this is not working, there's a couple different variations of this hip opener that are called figure four. So you can stay here in swan / pigeon, or some figure four variations. You could sit on your butt, bend one leg up like this, and you can also do this on your back, either with your foot on the floor or eventually lifting the leg up and even grabbing the leg to pull down. Either way, you want to stretch through the left hip. And we'll hold here for 2 more minutes, breathing in and out through the nose. Again, try to do like 70% of what you think you should. It's funny, I feel like so much of our culture is centered around the fact of like, oh, you guys are all so lazy, you need to do more, nobody's doing enough. But my experience, at least in teaching yoga in Washington, D.C., is that people tend to do too much. So especially with like restorative or slower styles of yoga, it really is an invitation to challenge yourself to do a little bit less than you think you should. I know most of you personally and can personally vouch for pretty much all of you that you are doing enough, not just in yoga, but in life in general. So let this be an opportunity to ease that. About halfway through, if what you're doing does not feel right, remember you can get a prop, you can change positions. If you'd like to go deeper, you can either fold forward or push yourself up for a back bend. Take a slow inhale through your nose. Slow exhale through your nose. Place your hands on the floor, push yourself up, coming back to tabletop. Anything you need to do, like sinking back, whatever feels good, can kind of move your hips in a circular motion. Then we're gonna come back down onto belly savasana or belly puddle. So again, you can have your elbows bent out, you can have your head on the floor looking right, looking left, you can have your arms down by your side. And for those of you looking in one direction, once again, I will tell you when we're about halfway through this belly savasana, so you can look in the other direction. Your legs can be apart. Do try to have your toes pointing in and your heels flopping out rather than heels flopping out and toes pointing in. It's a little bit of a different pelvic opening or rotation. If you're looking to one side, so you're ready, carefully, slowly look to the other side, stretching the neck in the other direction. Okay. If you're looking to one side, carefully bring your head back to center. Put your hands on the floor, push up. And we'll do the other side of swan, pigeon, or figure four. So coming to a tabletop position, start to bring your right knee towards your right wrist, right foot to the left side of the room. And as you're ready, lengthen your left leg back so that one day it straightens. Again, you're welcome to have extra padding under a knee. It's very common to want a block or some sort of prop under your hip. You're welcome to fold forward, come up, whatever feels good for you. Do notice if this hip is way opening up. You want to rotate the hip down, even if that means you have to come up a little bit. So if you look back, ankle, knee, and hip all in one line. Okay. And we'll hold here for 2 minutes, breathing normal. Notice how you're breathing, any passing thoughts. Try to be in this moment, even if it's a little bit uncomfortable. And just sitting with our discomfort, never going to a point of pain, but if it feels a little intense, that's okay. About halfway through, if you need to adjust, get a prop, go deeper, ease up, or stay just as you are. There's no one answer. So one of the things I like, especially about this style of yoga, is like there's no right answer. There are a few wrong answers, right? Like if you're in pain, if you can't breathe, that would be a wrong answer, but there's no one correct way, right? There's lots of different ways to enjoy a stretch. Never a point of pain. Take a slow inhale through your nose. Slow exhale through your nose. You're going to slowly, carefully reverse out, placing your hands on the floor. Gently push yourself up. Bend your back leg, slide your right foot back down. Again, you can do any motions that feel good, maybe stretching forward, maybe moving your hips forward, right, left. Anything that feels good to you. And then turn, lie on your back for Savasana or puddle pose. So once again, just open your arms and legs. You can wiggle out your butt or your shoulders or head if that feels good. Then find yourself in a little bit of stillness and breath. So in a lot of these postures, you know, it's like we stretch one part of the body and then we strengthen or squeeze into another part. So like the hip squeezes and the, you know, the hamstring stretches or something like that, right? And then when we lie neutral like this, everything just kind of gets to reorganize. Sometimes your body has a moment of like, I don't know what that was, but all right, here we are, right? So just blood flow returning to normal. Picture your heart and lungs working together. Okay, bend your legs back up, so feet on the floor, knees bent. You're gonna roll off to one side, take a moment in the fetal position. And then push yourself up. Great. Last posture of the active posture of the day is going to be butterfly pose, folding forward. So you're gonna open your knees, have your feet together. You're welcome to have, at first we're like this, right? So you're welcome to have props underneath your knees. You can gently push your knees down to like go a little bit easier. You can bring your feet forward. To go a little bit deeper, you can bring your heels closer to your pubic bone. And place your hands on your knees, or as you're ready, place your hands on the floor and maybe fold forward a little bit or a lot, right? So you're gonna get a little bit of a rounded spine. Drop your shoulders down, drop your head down, so no tension in the neck and head. We're gonna hold here for 2 minutes. Maybe start easy with your hands really close to your feet, and slowly over time you can walk your hands further away to fold forward more. Do try to keep your hips close to the floor, so notice if like your butt has come off the floor, ease up a little bit. And push the hands gently into the floor to keep the hips down. About halfway through, if you'd like, you can start walking your hands even further forward. You can ease up. One day, head towards your feet. Does not have to be today or tomorrow, but in general, relax your head. Take a slow inhale through your nose. Slow exhale through your nose. As you're ready, carefully push yourself back up. Take your time. You can do a back bend, placing your hands behind you, any sort of counter stretch that feels good. I'm gonna place my hands on either sides of my knees, and with the help of my hands, bring my knees back together. And then if you want hands behind you, you can windshield wiper your knees right, left. Any sort of motion that feels good to you. Whee! Okay, and then we're all gonna find our way onto our backs for final petal pose, final Savasana. Just a few minutes here with breath and stillness. Let your palms be open to the ceiling. Envision two warm white orbs, one in each hand. Feel this warmth from the orbs radiating up through your wrists, forearms, softening through the arms, warming the elbows, upper arms, and shoulders. Imagine these orbs in your palms, bringing warmth through the arms and into the heart space. And allow your heart space to get a little more open, a little lighter. Feel this warmth from these ethereal, warm white orbs in your hands radiating through to your arms, through the shoulders, softening shoulder blades, collarbones, heart space. And imagine this warmth starting to electrify each and every vertebrae, sending warmth up through the throat and the back of the neck, creating a soft aura of light around your head, your limbs, torso. Feeling this warmth radiating through the top of your head, your pineal gland or third eye chakra, whichever you want to call it, pituitary gland. Picture all the glands working in harmony. Right and left brain warming, each and every hair follicle relaxing. Feel these warm orbs of light in your palms radiating through your arms, heart space, up through the throat, the neck, all the way to the crown of your head, relaxing through your forehead. Let your eyeballs be soft, jaw relaxed. Picture this light going through the head, back down through the throat and heart space. Softening through the middle spine, hips, and stomach. Relax your stomach. Relaxing through the lower back, feeling this warmth radiating through the hips, glutes, outer inner thighs, and space between the thighs. Picture these warm orbs radiating light through your arms, spine, chest, and belly, through the hips, thighs, warming your knees and softening the backs of your knees. Relaxing through the shins, letting your calves be heavy. Relaxing through your ankles, tops of the feet. Think of these orbs in your palms radiating warmth even to your pinky toes. Take a slow inhale through your nose, breathing all the way down into your fingers and toes. Exhale through your nose, picture all of this warm light radiating out onto others, out through your heart space into the universe. Take a slow inhale through your nose, feeling warm, feeling held. Slow exhale through your nose, relaxing any part of your body that's still a little tight. And hey, if that exhale didn't work, take a slow inhale through your nose. And as you exhale, start to soften just a little bit more. And if there's still tension, that's really normal. Take a slow inhale through your nose. And as you exhale, soften just a little bit more. This softening, this relaxation, it does not happen all at once. It just happens through intentional inhales and exhales, through intentionally creating some time to move and stretch. So thank yourself for taking some time to be intentional with your body, with your mind, fostering this mind-body connection. And last breath together, slow inhale through your nose. Slow exhale through your nose. And picture yourself in perfect, radiant health.